All right, welcome everyone. So, how today will be structured is I'll give a quick talk, 5-10 minutes, and then for the next 50 minutes would be Ask Me Anything, where I'll workshop problems with you guys, just whatever your biggest business challenge is for this week. Following that, we'll have focus groups for the next hour where you guys will talk amongst yourselves and share challenges and help each other out. Yeah, well, welcome back to Athena Founders. Today, we're going to talk about how to create a 10x better product, which really is the most important thing when we're working on a business. Because if your product isn't 10 times better than whatever options users already have right now, then it's very hard to displace existing companies. Because if a user is going to try out a new product and your brand isn't known and they're already doing something, it's just really hard. You can do it, but it just makes your life like 100 times harder in terms of having to do way more for marketing and for sales and for everything else in the business. Whereas if you do have a product that is significantly better than what users are currently using, then everything else just becomes really easy. And the product just grows by word of mouth because the users are really happy and they're like, hey, this is an awesome product. And they tell their friends. In fact, the biggest acquisition channel for basically every one of the most successful products in the world, word of mouth. And that is a result of creating a product that is 10 times better. So how do we do this? We can only create a product that is 10 times better when you become an expert in whatever industry you are in. There's a pretty simple process to do this. It just takes a lot of time. It might take you up to a year to get to expert level in any industry. But basically, you just look at what everybody else is doing. So you go and you study 100 similar companies, walk through their product and the user interface. You talk to 100 users about the current solutions that they're using and what's lacking and what's good. And you put together the best parts, as well as talking to 100 founders. Maybe they sold their business, they're ex-founders in the space, or maybe they're industry experts. Or you can find people that previously worked at like a competitor of yours or who would be more open to talking. So I go into this in the course that I made on YouTube in more detail. Just a quick overview in terms of studying 100 companies. You could just go to any company directory, like Y Combinator has a company directory. You can go to Product Hunt or just do a Google search or go to Crunchbase and select your industry. And then you just click through the user interface. Here, like for me, I was studying the recruiting softwares and just studying, okay, what's good, what's bad about each. And yeah, then you can find mentors as well just by reaching out and being like, hey, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur and building a tool that is similar to the company that you worked on. I'd be really grateful for your mentorship. Basically, you just find these folks on LinkedIn. So you just search for competitors and viewers on LinkedIn and look for ex-employees or ex-founders from the space. That's the same way of getting users to talk to you is you reach out with that mentorship type of approach. Of just, hey, we're building like Contact Out in my case, and you have a lot of expertise in recruiting and would love to get your perspective on our product. So as a part of the Athena program, we have cash prizes for doing these things. If you study 10 companies in your industry and you write up half a page of analysis on each company, and then you come to a conclusion about what am I going to build that's going to be 10 times better than my competitors and combines the best parts of all my competitors, because they say creativity is just stealing from 100 people. There's $100 prize for whoever does this. Same with talking to users. If you talk to 10 users, or you read the mom test, and we have a guide on talking to users, you record the interviews, write up your learnings, there's also $100 prize. This is an example of we actually have, you guys just do 10. We've done like maybe 200 here, and you can see the analysis that we've written up for each customer. This is for my business Contact Out, on their feedback and what the pain points are, et cetera, et cetera. Before we get on to talking about challenges, I want to talk quickly about weekly updates and building in public. I think the most important part of all this is just really to get started building. Work on it long enough for 10 years. I've been doing this for nearly 15 years now. Then you'll succeed. What does help is to write weekly updates about your progress and to build in public. So why do we want to build in public? And what do I mean by build in public? Every week, you want to post an update on whatever your favorite social media site is, like LinkedIn, Twitter, or wherever you're active, about what you did last week, what did you learn, what your biggest challenges are, and what your goals are for next week. So why you want to do this is if you announce to all your friends, you're going to start a business and you'll post updates every week about your progress. Now you're committed. If you don't do it, you'll look like a failure in front of your friends, and you can use the social pressure to your advantage. And also people will help you. Like your friends will give you feedback. Customers who you reach out to on LinkedIn, you have them as connections. They'll tell you how to improve your product. Investors will notice, and mentors that you reach out to on LinkedIn will want to help you. For myself personally, I've been posting on LinkedIn for years, and I've built an audience of 70,000 followers, and this has driven a significant amount of contact outs. Also, you can tag us if you want feedback on your weekly learnings. We have some examples of updates that we've written here. So you can just tag us at Athena_VC on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or wherever. And try to give each other feedback as well. If you search Athena_VC on socials, you'll see other people's learnings and their goals and their challenges. Try to help each other out. That also helps you guys co-promote. Because if you comment on somebody else's post, you get more exposure for their posts. About what is everyone's biggest challenge for the week. I think we had a couple of questions on Discord, so we might start with them. I think, so you said you're building a decentralized shopping app and service platform, and what should you prioritize for growth? My first thought is just exactly the process that we talked about. You really want to focus on how's your products going to be 10 times better than the current shopping experience for users before even thinking about growth at all. I would just manually acquire users, find 5 friends or something, and talk to them about their shopping experience, and then study at least 100 other shopping apps to be like, okay, what did they do well? And how do I like do it better? Because you won't really have a good idea until you spent a year really studying, okay, what does best look like right now? And if you just go straight to acquiring users when your product isn't better than the competition, you're going to have a really, yeah. So that's my best thought. Yep. Okay. Okay. So the next question on Discord is from Rishab. Sorry, I'm just reading it now. Could you go into a bit more detail? You need to start your R&D process that requires funding.
What are we trying to achieve is 3D concrete printing, and we need an R&D for its structural strength, and that R&D it will cost us money. So my question was, I have a team at IIT Kharagpur. Those people are ready to help me with the R&D phase for maintaining and more deeper dive into the structural strength of 3D concrete printing homes. So for that, we need a 3D printer first. Either I need a grant from somewhere or funding so I can procure that machine and my team can start the R&D process. So my question was, what should I do or what should I accomplish before I go for raising funds for my R&D phase?
I don't think I'll be the best person to answer this because I haven't done. So sorry, you're doing 3D printing for houses, right?
Also home AI automation in that. So what my vision is to create a product, like a home will be a complete product, and it will have home AI automation on top of the IoT layers, and also will be making those homes with 3D concrete printing. So there are 2 USPs, that is 3D concrete printing and home AI automation.
I can give you some high level thoughts, but disclaimer is obviously I haven't done this before. So 90% of whatever I say is most likely wrong for any advice I give you guys. If it resonates, then go with it. If not, then definitely take what works. I would try to learn as much as I can without having to actually do the test. Clearly, you probably already gone through the scientific journals to see who else has tried this, what were their results, what were their experiments. I would try to find industry experts and mentors, lots of other people that have tried this, like founders that have tried this, or people that have written the research papers to see, okay, what did they test before? Surely somebody has tried to test printing houses before. What were their results? What were the problems that they ran into? And then in terms of venture funding, really there's 2 parts to that, right? There's the technology risk and then there's the market risk. So whilst the technology risk is going to be more expensive to validate, as in actually have to go run the experiments and build out the technology, the market risk can be a lot easier. For example, you can close certain letters of intent where you have a construction company that says, hey, if you get this technology to work, we will pay you like $10 million. We'll pay you. I was talking to a YC founder yesterday who closed $30 million in blood tests for blood testing technology to test which antibiotic works best when you have a bacterial infection. So he closed $30 million in letters of intent from hospitals. And then, of course, doing his venture round, his raising Series A, became very easy because he's just, if I can build this technology, there's $30 million waiting. This is the same for if we take, which is a company, YC company I'm a shareholder in, that is building a supersonic jet. They closed 100 million in orders out of YC from the airline company. And then they just said to investors, hey, you're just betting on, can this team build the technology? And would the technology work? Because if it does work, there's $100 million, like just, we got it signed already. So yeah, that's perhaps like how I would approach it.
Can I ask a question? Hi Rob, with this side, I am from India. Actually, I am working on this idea, decentralized super app, for a very long time. And I have already done all the researches what you have told on this, like talking to users, comparing 100 companies, reading about their competitors. Because I'm in the startup phase for last 3 years full time. And this is my third startup. I have already been part of Y Combinator startup tool or Google startup tool and did all the learning. Should I have to do it again, or I can use my learning from there? Like I have already talked to 35 users. Total, I have 40 users on my platform within last 1 week per beta. I have 8 online stores onboarded on my platform. And our internal operations are going right now. And from next week, we will start acquiring customers and hopefully we will start generating revenue. So can I use all those learning here to share with you all?
Yeah, for sure. So there's no like structure for the Athena program. We have two parts of it. The first part, which you guys are currently part of, being Athena Founders, there's not much structure at all. It's just basically we get together every week and we run an AMA, sometimes with myself, or sometimes I'll bring in other founders who have raised, like $100 million or doing like 50 million plus revenue. You could ask anything you want at whatever stage you're at, as well as we have a list of resources for curriculum.
Yeah.
You could just go to whatever is most relevant for your stage and study that. And then share whatever challenges you currently have. If you've gone through all of this and you're confident that, hey, I have a very differentiated product, would be a 10x better experience for my customers than alternatives, then great. Then you just proceed to the next stage, which will be growth. But I think to really be sure, that's very challenging. Like I would say for Contact Out, even though we're at like 10 million revenue, I still wouldn't say that our product is 10 times better. It's maybe 20% better. And because it's only 20% better, that means our growth rate is quite slow for a startup. We're growing like 20% year on year because sales and marketing, everything is really hard because our product isn't significantly better. So we're still focused on product, being like, okay, what else can we build? How else can we maybe perhaps if we like change our pricing or change plans, add new features, build things that are more useful, focus on, I don't know, like data quality to really get to 10x. So I think even companies that are doing like tens of millions of revenue cannot really claim 10x. Because if when you do get 10x, then your revenue will grow at the sort of J-code level where you're tripling every year. And after, let's say, 4 years, you're like $1 billion business doing like 100 million revenue. We're not saying we don't need to get to 10x better to have a viable business. It's just the easiest way to do it, because if your product is not better, then everything else is a million times harder. If you try to start a restaurant where it's not that different from the millions of other restaurants, it's just really hard to succeed.
Building a startup is a continuous battle.
So I'll ask you a different one. This is Joseph here, right? Where are you currently at now? What's your progress? So you have users. About how many users do you say you have? Is it about 30 users?
Right now, I have 940 registered users on my app, which we acquired last week to get in internal feature, like what to improve, what they're like, what comment, how we can improve. So to double down on our strategies. And I have already onboarded 12 online stores, 5 are live, 3 will be live for this week, and 4 are in pipelines.
Gotcha.
So what we are doing is, if you see today's world, you have multiple apps with multiple leads. Like even if you want to buy a t-shirt, there are like 15 apps and hundred of websites. And even if you want to order food, there are like 15 to 16 food ordering apps in every country. So what we are doing is we are building a decentralized super app from where user can do their day-to-day tasks. Like right now, they have to juggle between multiple apps to fulfill their daily needs or whatever they want. But I'm trying to streamline that process. Like in offline market, there are two types of market. There is a local market where you can go to the market, buy, if you want to buy clothes, you go to different shop. You want
Yep.
to buy fish, you go to different shop. But there is also malls where you can just park your car or vehicle, go inside the mall, buy whatever you want, and then come out to your parking and pick your car and go back to your home. So it's all about user experience.
Sure. So Mohit, how is this different from just searching a product on Google and do Google shopping?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
then it's activated.
I totally agree because even if you think about searching a product on Google and buy from there, like you have to create your ID, you have to put your address, you have to download, or either you have to go to their platform or website, whatever they offer to purchase from.
Gotcha. So right now, in terms of your progress, what do you feel is like your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge is because I don't have so much of users. So my
Hmm.
biggest challenge right now is to convince bigger online stores to do partnership with me or to sell their product through my platform.
So the assumption that you're making here, it sounds like, is with more online stores, I will get more users. Is that right?
Yeah, to attract
You-
users, you need
Well,
products.
do you know
Online
that is true? Do you know it's true? Has your users told you that, hey, if you get XYZ brand and this is why, then I will sign on?
Yeah,
You-
right now we are already onboarding D2C stores like shopping and all because I know people buy clothing more often online. So we have built a strategy where we are onboarding. Right now, we're onboarding Gen Z focused t-shirt brands. So it will reduce our marketing cost because we have 10 stores. And if every of them store are from different categories, to
Sure.
acquire customers for them, we have to run different meta ads with different interests. So we are building in a lean manner.
I think this is just opinion as a
Mm.
potential user. For myself personally, I feel like the convenience factor of not having to sign up to multiple sites or not having to Google like specialized sites is not a 10x better experience for shopping for me personally. In fact, I would rather go to specialist stores that have a 10x better experience for food delivery because it's a specialized food delivery service. Or if I want formal clothes, then I'd go to a store that just sells me formal clothes. I think this is the key here. What do we mean by 10x experience? In the like, if you tell a user, hey, this is what I'm doing, they'll drop everything to use your service. You want to think about the users need to really love it. A 10x better experience would be like, okay, we will do all these services for you at 1/10 of the price or something like that. So, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I know the answer here. I think the process for getting more to that answer is to really dive deep into what is every single other e-commerce store, what is every single other e-commerce aggregator doing, and what is lacking in their service, in the UX, and then what is lacking from the user side. Like with the users, what are they saying is their pain points with the shopping experience? Because for me as a consumer, the pain point is I need to go search for multiple stores. Is that a pain point or is there a bigger pain point? Because there's a difference between a vitamin and a painkiller. A vitamin is okay, yeah, it will be slightly more convenient if everything is in one place, but is it like, is this going to change my life? Is this something that like I need like right now?
So in India, we have Amazon, Flipkart, and other platforms. Always. Everyone trying to do everything right now. Like Amazon is trying to do groceries, and the startups which are in groceries are trying to sell electronics on their platform just to gain more market share and just to give better and fulfill experience to their users. Just like there is a WeChat in China, the same thing they are trying to build in India. There are two direct competitors like Tata Neu and Adani One. So trying to build a similar thing, but my focus is not creating a new competition. I am more focused on doing collaboration from existing players. Like I believe any day collaboration is better than competition because one brand or one online store is not everywhere, but everywhere there is one online store which is doing very great.
To answer your question more directly, right? In terms of like how would you grow to get users, how I would approach it is I would look at, because there's been a lot of these e-commerce like kind of aggregation plays across Southeast Asia, especially from the Rocket Internet guys. So I would look like Lazada or like Shopee or any of the other like big e-commerce plays that have started. I think Zalora is another one. Most of those, the initial founding team, like I know for Lazada, the initial founding team have left already. So I would just go reach out to the founders of Lazada because they're at a new company now and just be like, hey, I'd greatly appreciate your mentorship. I want to start this for India and I'd love to learn the lessons. You guys, how did you grow? What was your advertising strategy and how did you get your initial users, etc. From my experience, because I was at like Groupon Australia when it started, that was quite a rocking internet with the other sort of e-commerce players as well. It was very like paid ad heavy. And yeah, I guess it was just, and with the paid ad stuff, you could look at, you could just use like SEMrush or RFs to look at, okay, like how are these e-commerce aggregators advertising? What ad copy are they using? What keywords are they advertising on? What's their creatives? And just copy from that and learn and combine like the best of what competitors are doing.
So yeah, thank you for your feedback. I think we will continue this later on. There are many people are trying to ask questions.
Yeah. I was asking, how can I contact VCs who are ready to invest in real estate technology? And is there any like process to it which works the best? Or is Y Combinator interested in such things or any VC firms other than YC? So we need really get to fund right now.
Yep. I don't know. I'm not Y Combinator. In terms of reaching out to investors, I've linked maybe 1,000 different venture capital firms and angel investors on the startup curriculum in India and Southeast Asia. Your best bet isn't to reach out directly to the venture capital firms or the angel investors. Your best bet would be to get an introduction from one of their portfolio companies that they've invested. If you just reach out and they don't know you, it wouldn't come across as friendly and a lot of investors may not reply. So you can try that. You could try just reach out directly, pitch them, see if that works. If that doesn't work, so you would just find all the founders are doing companies in a related space in 3D printing for housing construction, maybe in a different country or maybe like elsewhere. Or you find other like construction startups in India. You set up times with them to ask for their advice from a founder because founders are generally more open to talking. And then you pitch them, you get their feedback. And then once you've built a relationship with them, then you ask them for an introduction to their investors.
All right. That works best. Yes.
Do we want to go around the room and talk about what is everyone's biggest challenge currently for the business? Aniron, do you want to start?
Wow. Right now, what we're building at things here is different, and the biggest problem that we
So,
face right
Right,
now.
your microphone's a little bit muffled. If you wouldn't mind holding it a little bit
Yes,
closer.
sure. What we are building at Albany for AI impact, and it is essentially automate your work across entire organization. So the biggest problem right now is that since the one-time ecosystem concept that comes as part of building anything from scratch and even generating it. We have our own model right now that you on top of the big or the living model. And we are running extremely lean, but for scaling up how do we go about that?
Sorry, Aniron, I might not have caught everything you said. I caught that you're working on an AI startup and you're running really lean. Would you mind repeating the problem or perhaps putting it in chat and then I can
Yeah.
get a sense for it?
So right now what we are building at Alchemist AI is essentially we are building AI employees that work across the entire organization. So the biggest problem that we're facing right now is that when you're building anything with generative AI from the ground up, there is an one-time upfront engineering cost involved, especially those in GPU costs. So that is something that we are even struggling with. And also there's a psychological barrier that is whether customer will actually adopt AIs that automate the entire work. So that's currently one of our pages. There is a pretty much inflation stage right. We are working on that.
I think I understand the question. So the question is, you're training an AI model to automate workflows, but it's quite costly to train that. How do you deal with it? I would say, again, so there's product risk and there's market risk. Typically, market risk is the cheaper one to validate and to de-risk. So what you could do is forget about building for now and just go and close customers and just tell them, hey, we will automate your workflow or do whatever the AI model is going to do. Close the customers first and then just do it manually. Hire people to do it manually or just do it yourself manually first. Because what you'll learn then is what the customer's problems are. You'd also learn about what would they actually buy and how do you actually build your product such that people will pay you. And then you start just manually providing the service. You call it Wizard of Oz, where you have people pretending to be the AI. And then eventually, once you get more and more customers and the revenue is confirmed, then you can work on automating the manual processes or raising venture funding, etc., because you've de-risked the market. If we take Zendit, which is a payroll company that's a unicorn in Southeast Asia, they started doing payroll manually. They just closed customers and then they would log on and do the bank transfers manually. And it was only after they had a sizable number of customers did they build the integrations with the banks to do the automated payroll. Awesome. Did anyone else want to workshop stuff? Otherwise, we'll keep going around for biggest challenge. I think we're up to Upendra, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Hello, everyone. Yes, yes, Rob. Correct. You pronounced it correct. So, I am actually 10 years of the experience into the mobile app development and web development end to end. Today, I just joined that means I found it interesting. I saw this, I found it interesting, and I'm still thinking. I have not started anything. Now, I'm thinking to start something, but don't know where and how to start. So I'm in that process. I'm just trying to know that and see how Athena is working and what is all about.
Yep. You're just starting out. You're looking to explore what to work on.
There is no question. I joined to learn more about where and how to start.
For sure. I think that's a good place to be in. Probably taking a longer time to decide on what to work on, because if you go down this path, you're going to be spending 5-10 years working on it. So you might as well take 1 year to really just decide and build up expertise in a field that you're passionate about. Cool. I think we're up to Mark. Oh, yeah, we can hear you, Mark.
Working. So I think the question is about finding out about the challenges we have recently faced, right?
Oh, yeah. What's your biggest challenge currently?
Okay. From the recent meetings we had, I just took the part of interviewing and speaking with users. Recently, as I spoke in the last meeting, we have finally secured an interview with one of the staffs. I discussed it with Joseph, a major waste collector in my country, Cameroon. We actually had a meeting today. One of my team members visited the company. So we had an interview with them. So I will get the feedback and submit it to you guys in the next meeting. Additionally, with a major UNEP waste management expert in Africa to discuss the problems surrounding waste collection in sub-Saharan Africa. Mostly what I face is organizing my time with all the tasks I have, because I had to walk around, interviewing, continue building the product, and just going through that cycle. Really, the problem I have currently now is just from really what we discussed recently has really assisted and helped me interview users, and from the Y Combinator courses, they have really been empowered. They have really empowered me to discuss and get users directly from LinkedIn and interviews.
That's great.
Yeah, good job, Mark. Well done.
We'll move on to GM.
Hi everyone. Am I audible?
Yep, we can hear you.
Cool. Currently, I'm in a stage where I know what product I want to build. I'm very clear about that. So that part is there. But the thing which I'm confused right now is about the co-founder part. So I'm in talking stage with many of my friends, but I'm not able to understand like what kind of person should I keep with me. So I'm very much confused in this part. Can you just give me some thoughts on this? I need a co-founder because I can understand the tech part very much and the user part. But when it comes to marketing, I'm not that great with it.
So why can't you learn marketing? The tech part and the product part is the most important part. Marketing would, if you have a good product, marketing is just the same. It's just either paid ads or it's like SEO or it's like social media. You basically learn just by studying what your competitors are doing and using tools to analyze their copy or see where they're building links, or studying their social media to see what content they're doing. it comes down to if your product is 10 times better, people are going to talk about it and grow. I started as a sole founder. My wife joined me on Contact Out about 2 years into the business. I would say that finding a co-founder is like getting married. It's more intense than getting married. So if you haven't found someone and you don't have somebody in mind, doing like a shotgun wedding or like an arranged marriage may not be the best idea. I think going solo is completely fine. You'll need to work harder, but actually it could be more beneficial because if you can get to a level of traction as a sole founder, which you don't need that much, but if you get to a certain level of traction and you can raise a seed round, let's say you can raise like a couple $100,000, then when you hire a team or when you get your first couple of staff on, you don't have to give out as much equity. Instead of giving out 50%, 40%, 30%, you could be like, hey, I'll pay you the full salary and you can have a couple percentage points of it, maybe 3% equity or 5% equity. So that would perhaps be a better option for dilution. Work on the product yourself first, get enough traction to raise your first investments and then hire afterwards. Unless you have someone who you're already sure about, it's like getting married. Unless if you're not sure who you're going to marry right now, then it's probably not a good idea to be like, okay, I need someone to marry right now before I can get on with my life. No, you just get on with your life. I think with co-founder relationships and also just life relationships, there's like 3 phases, right? The best is if you have a really good co-founder or you have a really good wife, husband, that's the best. Right. But then the worst is if you have an incompatible partner, an incompatible wife or husband or co-founder, and you're fighting all the time. That's like the worst. And in the middle is you're single. So yeah, at least that's how I think about it.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Like it's because it's a long-term process, long-term commitment from either of us. I get it what you're trying to say.
Yeah. And just to repeat everyone, like whatever I'm saying today, there's 90% chance I'm wrong. Yeah. Whatever resonates, take it on board. If it doesn't resonate, then you're go with what your gut feeling is, because I think like problems are always like every like problem is unique. I can only talk from like my own experience, but it might not be the same as yours. Okay. I think Manal might not be here. Sarong.
Everyone, I'm audible.
Yes.
We are working on a health platform as told in the earlier meeting. So the challenges we are facing right now is still as of pre-shub, as we talk. We are actually building an IoT device. We are planning to build it in college, but it requires a lot of capital and money to build it. So should we go about taking grants from the government or
So the question is, should you go about getting grants from the government? I think for a product where it's B2B, because you'd be selling to hospitals, a good way to go about it is to try get letters of intent. As we said, de-risking the market risk, whether there is demand, is cheaper than de-risking the product risk, the technical risk. A test that you could potentially focus on is, can I get hospitals to sign a contract where each of them say that they will pay me like $1 million? Because if you can do that, then you can raise as much money as you want, or you could raise millions of dollars in to build the product. But then if you can't do that, what that might mean is perhaps the problem that you're solving or the solution that you've suggested is not 10x better. And if that is the case, then we go back to the product research of talk to more hospitals and talk to more decision makers there to figure out what are the most painful problems, and then study scientific journals, study competitors, study all the solutions to be like, okay, how can I make something that's 10x better? But yeah, in short, to get funding, close letters of intent from hospitals.
you're right, but actually in our space, we are having many players and many features or functionalities are similar. So to differentiate and convince the customer hospitals, we want to have an edge. We are planning for an IoT device. So if we make it and show it to them, that would be better.
I think when you have a solution that is unique enough that it truly solves a pain points that none of the competitors are addressing, and it truly solves it in a novel way, you don't even need to build it to close the contracts. For example, like I was talking to a YC founder yesterday, as I mentioned, where he has a device that tests for what type of bacteria you're infected with, and it'll give you a results within 1 hour instead of within 24 hours. Because sometimes if you get an infection, you'll die by the time that your test comes back. And then that will let the hospital know what type of antibiotic to treat you with that is most effective. And that can be done in under 1 hour. So for this device, he doesn't have it built yet, but he has $30 million from hospitals saying that if you build this device, we will buy it. So if your solution is novel enough that it really solves a problem 10 times better than existing solutions, people will pay you even if you don't have the product. But if your product isn't at that 10x level, then it's going to be quite hard to sell it. So yeah, I think with a lot of this stuff, like you can sell it just on a PowerPoint.
Okay. Second question I have is we are in the process of team building. We have Vishal with us here and some other teammates of college, but we are trying to expand the team. But challenges we are facing right now is because we are not incentivizing the teams or you could call members enough. So there's a problem because we come under the category of healthcare. More or less, people are not that interested to be a part of it. So how could we go about expanding the team?
I wouldn't expand the team. I think the larger your team, the less productive you'll be. In the sense that for Sam Altman from YC and OpenAI, his first advice for hiring is do not hire. If you don't have product market and your solution is not 10 times better and not like customers rushing to give you money and telling all their friends about how great your product is, do not hire. It will not help you build a 10x better product. The best products in the world were built by one person or two people teams, or at most 3 or 4 people teams. For example, JavaScript was written by one person. The web browser was just 2 people. Google search, the core algorithm is just like Larry and Sergey. It's 2 people. Microsoft was like Paul Allen and Bill Gates. Apple, the first version of Apple was just Steve Wozniak. He did all the hardware, all the software. So the more people you have, the harder it is to be in sync until you have customers that are demanding your product and you're rushing to fill demand. You do not want more people. 2 people is more than sufficient. You can do solo. If Steve Wozniak can design a whole computer, like hardware, software, everything by himself, and that was the best computer at the time, more people is worse. It's not better.
Next question I have is, as a healthcare startup, we are trying to help many
Just sort of make sure everyone has time, like 5 minutes. So we're gonna come back. We'll go to Amara.
I don't really have any questions, but I can go through what we did this week. Me and Sana, what we did was we both decided we've been working out of our houses for too long. So we just got on this trip where we went to a random city and we're trying to do this challenge. And we're building up an audience alongside of it. So we're in a new city as of now. That's why my setup isn't good enough for my video to be on. We're in a new city in a dorm room. And we're essentially going to try building our way up, right? Onboarding clients, cold calling, and all of those things. We've pulled ourselves completely out of our comfort zone and we're in a whole new place right now. Yeah.
Nice. I hope you have a good time with that.
We still have no plan. We're here in the city and we thought we'd go out offering tech services, but the issue is everyone in the city is a tech service. So we need to focus. But yeah, I think it would make at least good content so nothing's wasted out of it at least.
Yep. Thanks, Amara. Over to Vishal.
Actually, honestly, I don't have some questions, but I have one question to Rob Liu. If there's something new in a market or you want to research about something new, how would you research about that particular thing? For
Could you-
example, let's say you want to research about non-invasive sugar devices. How would you research?
Non-invasive sugar devices, as in detecting your blood glucose, or
Blood group.
just with everything that we spoke about. I would look at every company doing blood glucose tracking or blood biomarker tracking. Just look on YC, look on Crunchbase. I would go to the scientific journals for Google Scholar and look at blood glucose monitoring and all the research that has been done at academic institutions and unlock those articles with Sci-Hub, so you can download them for free, Sci-Hub. And then I'll reach out to the founders of these companies and ask them for advice and ask them what they have seen as like the latest in the industry. And then I'll talk to users of these devices and ask them why they use it, what benefit out of it, as well as categories of users. It could be people with diabetes, where this is an absolute need, versus people where it's like, I just want to be aware of my health to see what are their uses with these devices. Cool. Thanks, Vishal. We'll go to Animesh.
Hi, Rob. Actually, I have similar questions like Sarang about the team. Like we are building an AI co-pilot for B2B sellers. So what we are finding for the team members, but as part of your answer, like you said already that you don't have to bring more people so that it will be hard to build good product. So I am going with that approach only.
I think more than a question that has an update, I have finally come to an understanding as to what I want to do currently at least. So I'm building a community across different socials for solo travelers. It's still in the beginning stages, but I do see a lot of traction. I can see so many people messaging me and my followers that are following me across pages. That's increasing quite a bit as well. That's where I'm putting a lot of my efforts right now. Particularly by the end of this month or something. Create a solid community with the goals I've set, which is like the speaker follower on Instagram, which is come to like reasonable enough at a certain point where I can start. And also just a place for people who are looking for that gap between their first and second year of college to broaden their CV by doing global volunteering opportunities and things like that. Because that's what I'm doing, and I'm learning so much out of how it's simply not something that a lot of people can know. So just maybe helping people in that space, because I see that niche is something that a lot of people want to know about and want to work on, but they don't have that much of an advice. So I feel like maybe starting off with that space is something I'm interested in, something I'm working on, and also something that really helps people, right? And yeah, I'm working on that right now, and I'm seeing a lot of traction as well. So I just hope that, yeah, get good results, and then I'll focus on creating like a full-on community.
Yep, awesome. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I think, and I know you're pretty active on LinkedIn and across other socials. This goes to everyone. Feel free to write up what you're working on. If you want to tag us on LinkedIn, just at Athena_VC, we can give you feedback on your business concept, as well as reshare across our audience. We probably have 100-something thousand following across socials. That's one takeaway. Thanks so much, everyone. I think we'll go to focus groups now. I'll probably drop off, but Joseph, Rishi, and Siren will be leading the focus group discussion. Thanks so much, everyone.
Give me 2 minutes. I'll just set up the break. All right, now just give like a minute for everybody to join back into the main room. And then we have some updates on the community guidelines. Then, all right, Joseph, do you want to talk about the community guidelines?
All right, cool. Cool. So the community guidelines. So previously we were running in a cohort base. So we were like cohort 1, cohort 2, and all. But moving forward, what we realized is that instead of having so many separate calls, might as well we do it in one call where everyone can come in and join and meet each other and share the problems. Because what we find out is that the problems that a founder might be facing, and most of the founders are at similar stages anyway, are quite similar. So the learnings are very transferable and everyone can learn from each other, especially you go into the breakout rooms, you can meet new people. You never know who you meet. Could be a potential co-founder, somebody who is interested in your idea to work together. So we think that would be better use of time. And we have also feedback from you guys that want to meet more people. So in future, we're going to we go for a community-based approach. You have a lot more people joining this course. You ask questions. Obviously, the priority will go to, eventually we'll have another program called Residency, is that after folks who have completed all the challenges, which is like talking to people and do the recording and ready all that, and the computer analysis, talking to mentors and all that, plus if you are updating the goals on a consistent basis and you have got some good traction, like some good progress and attitude, we'll bring you all to the residency, which will look at whatever your current salary or last salary that you have, you're funded for in exchange to some equity, but majority of the equity will keep with you. But on that stage, then we talk about, Rob has written that in the guidelines, so you can look through on that. Okay. End of day, most of this Athena Founders is free. There, as long as you want, we're gonna have this course on a weekly basis, and learn together. We grow together.
I have one question. This Athena Residency program is online, or we have to come somewhere? The Athena Residency program is an online program, or we will have to then it's some offline?
Online, maybe in some INR or like real life if we go to India. or wherever part in the world, the residency, but mostly it's going to be online. Yeah. It's basically just there's money back in to push you forward. I think Rob shared it. Not sure if you shared it before with you guys, but yeah, his first check was not really big, but was big enough for him to make the full-time shift into being a founder. Equity was not as good, but it was the shift that he needed, the support that he needed to make that shift. But if you guys can get something that is better from YC or any accelerator, go for it. For us, it's really helping those people who are trying to make their first move. Rishi, anything else?
I guess that's all. If you want to read more about what Joseph shared, Rob has put up an Evernote talk on Discord. I'd highly recommend going through that because that talks about the specifics on how you'll receive payouts and also how you'll be accepted into the residency program. We want to encourage interaction. We want to encourage you to do tasks that would help you to build your startup out further. Those tasks you would do if you were in a job as well. If you were in a job, you would be doing it to help somebody else build their company out, and you'd be getting a salary and probably 0.1% as equity. What we're enabling you to do is do the same tasks, but do it for your own company. You get your salary, plus you get 90% equity as compared to the 0.1 that you were getting as an employee. That's the goal from what we're trying to achieve, get you started on your entrepreneurial journey.
I want to ask something like whoever gets selected in Athena residency will get funding.
The payouts are all task based, right? So you complete the tasks, you get your payouts. If you consistently do all the things that are mentioned in the guidelines, you will get funded. The funding has a structure of tranches, which is also mentioned. Imagine 3 payouts across 6 months, once every 2 months. That should be good enough.
It's on the website. There is the Founders Program. It's free to join. Just join the weekly calls and the focus group discussion, cash payouts to motivate you to take the first step to build your company by studying competitors, talking to people, talking to users, talking to experts, mentors, and then building in public, right? To really just put accountability on yourself. And once you have done that, you have more confidence in yourself, especially in your business idea. And this is where you will then entertain the idea that, hey, maybe I want to go a bit more full-time on this. If you've got a job, this is where we'll match your salary for 6 months. You keep 90% equity. So depending based on your salary, it's around this area, and then you will get funding for this amount. And it's for post-money save. So money will be distributed based on acceptance, and then after that, task-based, everything within control. Study 50 competitors, weekly updates, talk to 25 experts, 50 users. Total, you have to look at 100 companies, weekly updates, talk to 50 experts, 100 users. Even for us, after we have found product market fit, we are still talking to users and studying competitors on almost like a weekly basis. So that is the reality. There's no hiding behind code, no timeline. You do faster, you get faster, you slower.
Like we
On
can
your
do
own
it
pace.
either in 1 week or 10 days, as
Yeah.
fast as.
Or on your own pace.
I have one question. You can also join this program. Now you get paid for 6 months for the same salary you are getting in contact out, and you have 90% equity as well.
So question is, why not? Yeah, we have one of our team members who are giving this a try. For me, I'm very busy. I'm teaching in a university. I'm doing this, plus I'm also doing content out I'm leading product and design. I'm leading product design, I'm leading content. I also have a career coaching thing that I'm doing on the side as well. I'm doing investing. So I'm very busy.
No, but
I'm
because
very due for it.
you have a very great experience of startup,
Yeah.
what we have talked about. So I thought you should also apply it in. You will get the same salary for 6 months and everything.
Yeah, I'm doing my own things on the side. So all good.
Sure. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anything we can help you with? Hopefully this motivate this. Is this good? We're going to get some feedback as well, honestly. What we're thinking is we're figuring out for the team, like how can we motivate people who are either working, starting full-time or already started on their startups? Like how can we give them that push? Right? Because money is still money, right? But how you can give the push? Do you feel like cash prizes helping you to achieve these goals that is within your control? Is that something that is a thumbs up or is it like a nah? What do you think?
Really, that's good.
You say good, thumbs up. Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, cool. Yeah, Amish, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just getting thumbs up, but it clicked on.
Beautiful. Nice. It's okay. I got to hear your voice. So that's a plus for me as well. All right.
Awesome. So you also mentioned you studying on your research. So you're probably looking forward to your updates on your research and sharing your first progress in your weekly goal updates. And also, Saran, you mentioned about you had your first user interviews, so probably you want to share your write up, actually, in your sharing as well.
100%. All right, cool. If no more questions, then if you have not posted up your Go updates, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Better start and get the hang of it. One, it just gives yourself more accountability and more clarity on your own in terms of what you're gonna do. What's your task for this week, right? Plus, if you've got any questions, best place to put, then we can work together as a community to help each other out. All right, sweet, cool. No other thing. Beautiful evening, everyone. Lovely. Have a lovely rest of the week. See you guys. Cheers. Bye bye. If you've got questions, feel free to stay back and ask.
No, I thought it was the buy.
No worries. Okay. All right. See you. Tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone. See
Bye-bye.
ya. Bye bye.
Rishi, you are from India, right?
Yep.
Right from?
I am from Kolkata.
Oh yeah, you told me about your. Okay.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.